Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Military Stage channel. The most well-known tank in the world isn't American. Rather, it's a large cat that is in use in more than 20 different nations. One of the most commonly employed tanks in the world, and by far the most well-liked tank in NATO's arsenal, is the Kampfpanzer Leopard 2, which Germany created and produced in the 1970s. It was so advanced for its time that even the mighty American M1 Abrams has some Leopard 2 DNA in it. Now, NATO has already dispatched up to 54 Leopard 2 aircraft to bolster the Ukrainian army almost a year after Russia invaded the country. The NATO countries Germany, Poland, the Netherlands, Norway, and Portugal sent the tanks, which will give Kiev a better and more potent tank force than ever before. However, the Leopard 2 would be a far superior tank than anything deployed by the powerful Russian armed forces, whether it were used in small or big numbers. Leopard 2 represented an effort to create a more well-balanced tank that was mobile, well-armored, and fitted with a bigger, more potent armament. The Leopard 2 is a 55-ton main battle tank. Two 7.62mm machine guns and a 120mm smoothbore gun are mounted on it. The tank is operated by a 4-person crew, which consists of a commander, gunner, loader, and driver. It is propelled by a 12-cylinder, water-cooled MTU-MB 873 diesel engine that has 1,500 horsepower. This yields a ratio of 27 horsepower per ton, which is sufficient to propel it to a top speed of 42 miles per hour. The Leopard 2 has a Rheinmetall RH-120 120mm smoothbore main gun as standard equipment. It has one of the most cutting-edge fire control systems in the world, which includes a ballistic computer, laser rangefinder, and thermal night vision, making it competitive with the American M1 Abrams. In addition to engaging moving enemy targets via enemy smoke screens, the tank is now able to attack targets with high first-round hit accuracy day or night. According to Rheinmetall, a round fired by the RH-120 gun is supersonic as it leaves the muzzle traveling at up to 692 feet per second. A .30-06 rifle bullet, on the other hand, travels at just 3,000 feet per second. A 2-axis stabilization mechanism that balances the movement of the tank against the position of the RH-120 gun barrel allows the RH-120 to fire with exceptional accuracy while it is moving. Older tanks need to come to a halt to fire accurately at enemy targets, an action that collectively slows an attacking force's momentum. Even when the Leopard 2 is traveling through uneven terrain, the stabilizing system lets the main gun to stay pointed at a target. This allows the Leopard 2 to shoot accurately while moving or deliver a beer stein without spilling any liquid. The original main tank killing round was the DM-13 armor-piercing, discarding Sabot tank round, essentially a high-speed steel dart capable of penetrating 220mm of tank armor at 1.2 miles. Another round was the DM-12 high-explosive, anti-tank shell that used the shaped explosive charge to penetrate armor. Today, the Leopard 2 carries even more powerful rounds with greater armor penetration, including the Rheinmetall DM-53 and DM-63 rounds, reportedly capable of penetrating 750mm of tank armor at the same distance. The Leopard 2 carried just 42 rounds of main gun ammunition. This prioritized using the main gun against enemy tanks, while trucks, infantry, and other unarmored targets would be engaged by the tank's machine guns. The tank was fitted with one MG3A1 7.62mm machine gun mounted coaxially with the main gun and fired by the loader that could engage ground targets. A second MG-3A1 mounted above the turret, fired by the commander, was primarily meant to engage enemy aircraft. Despite being 40 years old, nothing is known about the Leopard 2's armor or its components among the general public. The original armor set is best described as a multi-layer design with rolled homogeneous steel armor separated out by non-metallic, probably ceramic, elements. This is intended to disperse the molten jet produced by a high-explosive anti-tank bullet as well as to inhibit conventional armor penetrating, dart-like weaponry. There are rumors the tank used so-called Burlington armor, a composite matrix developed by the United Kingdom and reportedly shared with West Germany. The Leopard 2 also features smoke dischargers and protection against nuclear, chemical, and biological agents. Upgraded Leopards from the A5 variant onward include the addition of extra layers of armor bolted onto the face of the turret, protecting the tank from frontal attack. The thickness and composition of this armor is unknown, but is considered vital to keep the tank protected from modern anti-tank ammunition used by modern Russian main battle tanks. The Leopard 2 hasn't been in many battles, unlike the other major Western tank. The American M1A2 Abrams, the Canadian, Danish, and Dutch armies each sent a small portion of their Leopard 2 fleets to Afghanistan, while the German army sent its Leopard 2 to Kosovo for peacekeeping operations. Although a couple of the Leopard 2s that were sent to Afghanistan suffered mobility damage from mines, none of them were lost, and all of them subsequently returned to service. Additionally, one Danish tanker died. The tanks didn't engage in combat with an adversary using contemporary tanks or anti-tank weapons in either deployment. In late 2016, Turkey deployed its 2nd Armored Brigade to its border with Syria. The brigade, armed with Leopard 2A4 tanks, was engaged by Islamic State forces and lost 10 Leopard 2s. According to the National Interest, Turkey lost 5 reportedly by anti-tank missiles, 2 by mines or improvised explosive devices, 1 to rocket or mortar fire, and the others to more ambiguous causes. In January 2023, Poland announced it would send 10 Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine, with or without Germany's blessing, while the UK promised to send 14 Challenger 2 tanks. The United States is also planning to send 31 Abrams tanks. This finally broke political resistance to tank transfers, and on January 25th, Germany announced it would not only send 14 Leopard 2s, it would no longer stand in the way of countries willing to send their tanks to Ukraine. As of now, Poland, Portugal, Germany, the Netherlands, and Norway all appear poised to donate a total of 54 Leopard 2s. The NATO tank fleet, which consists of more than 1,000 Leopards in all, is much larger than the 54 Leopard 2s. At the time of this video's creation, other nations are considering sending additional Leopard 2 tanks, and it is likely that a multinational Leopard 2 tank force of more than 100 tanks will be present. This force, fighting for Ukraine, could reverse Russian advances over the past year while proving more than a match for Russian T-72 and T-80 tanks, some of which are even older than the Leopards.